Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the FearFans podcast. I'm your host, Don Elmy, and with me is Nick Moulet. He's got his camera off because he's working on something right now. Let's see. And we got Jeremy, the head of Things Network, and we have Tom from This is Tom's World.
Pickle Tom.
Nice.
That was like an 80s intro. Like,
there you go.
yeah.
Nice. And we have Nikki, who's joining us after, it's been a while since we've had you on. So, yeah, glad to have you back.
Thank you.
Yep, glad to have you back. Yes. Hello, Sarah. Thank you for tuning in.
I do have
Hey,
something
Sarah.
I want to show Nick if he'll get on camera really quick.
I don't know if we're allowed to show that on here, man. Oh, you're talking about something. Never mind.
Oh,
Yeah. Hey,
didn't know what
Nicholas.
hey, Paul. Thank you for tuning in.
Nicholas. Nick.
Yeah,
No.
Get on
Jeremy's
camera.
talking to you.
I'm
Hey.
coming over in just a second. Bear with me. I'm just
Yeah,
putting this stuff away.
Nick's working on his Halloween decorations. He thought now would be a good time for it.
I've been
So,
doing this for a
That,
while.
that should have been done 11 days ago.
yeah, I got my decorations up like a week before October.
Mhm.
Yeah,
See?
follow my example, Nick. Hey,
Chris.
hey, hello, sir. Thank you for tuning in. Remind him to plug it in. for sure, Sarah. So today we have got a great show for you guys tonight. We are covering one of the most iconic of Stephen King adaptations, and it is the 1980 classic, The Shining, directed by Stanley Kubrick. And oh man, this is like one of the most iconic horror adaptations of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and glad we're finally covering this on here. So yeah, Jeremy, I see that you got several Shining related things in the background. Yeah, the
I do.
movies and the books.
Yeah. The Stanley Kubrick version, the true version, and then the sequel to the Kubrick version.
Doctor
Oh.
Sleep.
I just got the 4K version of this myself.
They made it into a musical. This is new.
They made it what?
Tell me the bat.
Into a musical.
Here's Johnny.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hurt you. I'm just going to bash your fucking brains.
Guys, I'll be back. I'll be right over there in just a second. I'm just throwing the boxes away.
Nick. But yeah, like I mean, the Shining becoming a musical. I mean, hey, if a high school could make a musical play out of Ridley Scott's Alien, I would think anything's possible. True story.
They made a musical out of The Evil Dead as well.
Yep. So
I mean,
yeah,
I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if I want to see it.
I agree. The Shining is such a great horror movie and an exciting inspiration. Oh yeah, it is for sure. So The Shining has quite a legacy. It is Stephen King's third novel adapted into film in 1980, and this is like one of the adaptations that Stephen King has a big issue with it because of the way Jack was depicted as like a total psychopath, which is different from the novel. I mean, I still got to read the story. I just bought it.
Can I point out something though that may not be obvious because it's in the background? That's The Exorcist in the background.
Yeah,
the background of all of us.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, here. You know what? You're right. I forgot to change the.
I was looking at
let me
that. I'm like,
fix that.
wait a minute, deja vu.
You know, speaking of The Exorcist,
Come on, ahead.
I actually just picked this up this morning at Walmart. The story of The Exorcist.
Huh?
Oh, wow.
Same picture. Imagine that.
Here it is. Uploading right now. Let me just make this correction here. There it is.
All right, what have I missed?
He's back. That's cool.
Oh, nice. Killer
he
Clowns.
missed it.
No, I saw it.
Well, but Nick didn't, and I think that's he was doing that to show.
Yeah, I
Nick,
was
come
about
on.
to sit down, and then I actually hit my head on one of these damn lights.
Well, Nick doesn't think anything because he's inside of a cotton candy cocoon.
That's right.
True.
Get a
What
straw.
is this? Chris, what is this? Is it a link to?
I bet you that's the trailer to the musical.
Probably.
Oh,
They want to see
cool.
the new Exorcist movie. I have not seen it just yet. I've had a busy schedule. Yeah, Nick, hurry up, man.
I can still talk.
Okay. But
It-
yeah, we've had quite the weekend. Nick, why don't you tell them what we did Saturday?
Okay, so we ended. Some of you guys might already know this since I posted pictures, but for those who don't, we went to Six Flags Fright Fest, and they ended up going first thing when they opened up, but I ended up going later because I was I had to work till 1 o'clock, so I wasn't really able to meet with them until 2 o'clock. But it's been a couple of years since I have gone to Six Flags Fright Fest, so it was definitely good to be back. Definitely had a good time. I still wish we could have, done the haunted houses, but understandably in this day and age, as you know, Don, it's very expensive. So
Oh yeah,
Where is,
it's understandable.
you
where
should do
is
what I
that?
do, Nick. Hey, Nick, you should do what I do. Buy the season pass.
You know what? Here, before that, sorry, who was asking? What were you saying, Jeremy?
Where is that? Is that in Chicago?
It's in Gurney. For me, that's about a half hour away. So
Yeah, it's north of Chicago.
north of Chicago. It's been in operation since 1976, so it's been around for quite a while. But I thought about getting a season pass done. The problem is, I don't know if you know this, but I was shocked at the price of a daily ticket. Did you know what it is now? It said on the. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, the season pass is worth it because you get to go back. Like use it as much as you can throughout the year.
Well, the problem, and I don't really know. I don't know if I'll be going as frequently as I thought I was going. Well, that's why I didn't think the seasonal pass was necessary. But the daily ticket price was still insane because it said on the wall it was like $50. When I paid for it, it was like $78. It was like $78.
Yeah.
It was insane just for one daily ticket.
That's $300.
Well, if you buy the season pass when they're on sale, you get that same price on just every day of the season, anytime you want.
If you just go to an abandoned amusement park, it's free, and you will be just as scared, if not more, trying to ride the rides. Just saying.
And Tom chasing after you.
I think it would be a lot of fun to be able to go to an abandoned amusement park.
I would
It
love
would
it.
be. Well, there's that one in West Virginia. What was that one called? You know which one I'm talking about? There's an abandoned they allow investigations.
And they say John Denver actually haunts it too.
No, I don't
I'm
think
kidding.
it was.
John Denver.
Lake
West
Shawnee
Virginia.
It was Lake Shawnee Abandoned Amusement Park in Rock, West Virginia. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Okay. Is that the one off the cliff?
Hey, Nick, I got something else to show you.
You do?
Yeah, well, actually, show everybody.
Bend over.
This actually just came in the mail all the way from the Netherlands. So as everybody knows by now, we have a chapter of things in the Netherlands, and
oh my God, I love it. Wait, let's put a solo layout on. I want to see the full thing. That is awesome.
That's cool.
That's cool.
I love it.
the graphics surprisingly is done very well, nice and bright, and the material of the shirt is really, really nice.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
Chris,
oh yeah, talking about Lake Shawnee amusement park. That's what she's because before it was an amusement park, it was a Native American area.
Well, most places in America were though.
Yeah.
Oh, Connecticut. Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's from Connecticut.
Yeah, and I wanted to answer a question here. What?
What's up, Nikki?
Is that the one that's off? Is that the one that's off a cliff? The amusement park.
I don't know if it's off a cliff. I know it's kind of deep embedded in the woods. I know that.
Okay.
At least I've never been there, but I know a lot about it. So I never heard of anything involving a cliff.
And how does Cliff feel about having that off of him?
Yeah. So Sarah's asking us about how we were on the rides at Six Flags on the roller coasters. To answer your question, usually that happens to me around somewhere between 0 to 0.1, usually just 0.
He's like me.
Normally just 0. Yep, we've been on. Let's see, we've been on the Batman. We've been on. Let's see, Raging Bull. It took like 2 hours for. We took us like 2 hours.
Everybody's favorite ride. So as you can imagine, it's gonna get real crowded. you wait like 2.5 hours for it.
Oh yeah.
Tell them what happened once we got close to the ride, though, Don.
Close to ride, which one?
Raging Bull. What happened as we got closer to the ride?
And then it malfunctioned. They had to run tests on it, and then kept us waiting longer. Then we ended up getting on. Yeah, we were close to the front.
And Don, he was actually like kind of starting to feel reluctant because I know you said it was starting to get too cold.
Yeah, it was dropping to
like,
the 40s.
Yeah, I had to keep pushing Don, saying like I tried to do my best to keep him patient. Like, Don, just give it a few more minutes. I'm sure we'll be on. It'll be back on real soon.
Yeah.
And thank God we did. I did, because it finally did come back on.
It did.
One of you guys should have strapped a cell phone to your chest and just had it recording.
No, I got zippered. I've got
something like that.
Yeah, I usually, when I go on a roller coaster, I go while wearing something that had zippered pockets, so that way I don't have to worry about my phone falling off. Yeah, my cousin Mark had that issue. Like when he went on Raging Bull, his phone fell out of his pocket.
Never saw it again.
Oh wait, no, not Raging Bull. It was Superman Ultimate Flight.
Oh, yep. See,
That'll
it's
do
like,
Oh wow.
I was actually, it's funny you said that, Tom. I said to Don, saying, if only there was some way, like, if I could film this on Facebook Live for everyone to check out without losing my phone.
They have harnesses that you can get for like GoPros.
Yeah.
That go around, like it straps around you and it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Only bad thing is you can't pan back and forth unless you can move your chest. But if you got one of those things in front of you, it's a little.
Yeah,
tough.
I know. It's too bad. There's like, I wonder if there's like I don't even know really how to say it, but maybe like a clamp or something like you could put on your hand and have the phone stay attached, so that way you can pan in a way.
I'm sure you could rig something up with like one of those wrist guards or whatever that just go around everything but your finger. I'm sure there's something you could probably rig up, or just get the headgear too. They have the kind that's strapped to your head and just stay stationary.
That'd be cool.
Because
So,
I've seen people film with them on the roller coaster, so there's got to be a way.
As opposed to the animals that film with them, because
Right. So, Sarah's asking, speaking of rides, don't you just love the long shot of Trike's ride in The Shining? Yes. Stanley Kubrick always has unique ways of like filming his movies. Like every single shot is just exactly how he wants it. Every shot, every set design, every detail. He was like, oh man, he was he wanted everything. He was a perfectionist.
It's amazing how he was able to do that sequence because of how smooth everything was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That trike shot, like the whole time when Danny was riding that trike all the way down those hallways around the hotel,
going over the carpet, then the wood, then the carpet, then the wood, and
before coming across those creepy twin sisters.
Play with us, Danny.
You keep thinking that something's going to pop out at him, or those sisters finally do come out.
Yeah.
That was like one of the most iconic shots of the entire movie. Just that one tracking shot following that trike all around, and they've done tracking shots like several times throughout this movie. It's like when Hallerman, when he was like came back to the hotel to check on everything. Like he was Hallerman. Yeah, he was going down the hall, tracking shot, keeping you in suspense. Then out of nowhere, Jack hits him with the axe. That was like one of the most surprising deaths I've ever seen.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's Halloran, not Hallerman.
Halloran, yes.
Hallerman.
Yeah.
Hallerman, yes.
Scatman Carruthers, man.
One other thing I want to show you guys here. I just discovered this about a month ago. And to me, this here is a national treasure. And this is...
let's just slow lay out on this one.
This here is
The Long Walk.
The Long Walk, huh?
By Richard Bachman. This
cool.
is Stephen King. Stephen King wrote 7 novels under the Richard Bachman name. And this is in the early 70s. And I checked it out. This is an actual first printed, first edition copy of this book.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
You said it's in the early 70s?
Library got this. This is a library copy, as you can tell. And they put laminate on the cover. So that, to me, that kind of ruins the monetary value to it. But still, this is something that's really rare nowadays.
And you said
hey,
it's
Jill.
early 70s?
Hey, Jill.
Hey, Joe.
Yep,
Hey,
glad you
Jill.
can join us.
So wait, Jeremy, you said it's from the early 70s, that book, that copy?
about no late 70s, like 70s. Oh, I don't even know now.
I missed it. What
Should
did
have
you
the year
show?
on it. What's that?
What did he show? I missed it.
The Long Walk by Richard Bachman. It's a 79 novel.
Okay. Yeah.
There
I'll
it is.
we'll zoom in again one more time. That way you can see a better look at it again, Jill.
Nice.
All that.
Yep. He used that name for several books, including Thinner.
I've heard of Thinner.
That was the last one before he got outed.
Right. And so, yeah, like when you look at, even when you look at the story of The Shining, there are like so many different, again, I noticed so many different tropes that Stephen King has used in a lot of his stories. Like there's the main character being a writer, and there's the issues of domestic violence and abuse, and also, let's see, a child who has an extraordinary ability. Yeah, like I've noticed, like the child with extraordinary ability, we have seen that in Carrie, Firestarter, let's see, The Langoliers, and also
Angoliers.
Or even just a child in Jeopardy. Period.
Yep.
Well, that's the thing too. You always hear this all the time. Is that every classic horror movie always has some kind of creepy kid in it. You always have to have a little kid sitting or standing there whispering
With red hair.
yeah.
Oh.
Oh man, yeah, and let's see. Oh, and also, I guess they consider the character a man-child in The Green Mile, but he had an extraordinary ability too.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, and then
Allison
also another
Janney.
film that later demonstrated that was also about almost 20 years later, The Sixth Sense. It's another primary example, with a kid being involved. And then of course a few years later to a
Yeah,
lesser
that's not Stephen King though.
well, no, but I'm just saying, like when it comes to classic horror films, they always have some kid involved. Whether it's Stephen King or not.
Here, Sarah said you should be wearing gloves when handling that.
What is she talking about?
The
book.
yeah, the
Oh, the
book.
blood. Like the white gloves, like what historians wear.
Book is already laminated, so I can't do anything to it unless I try to take that laminate off, and I'm scared to.
Yep.
Because if I take that off, I'm taking the cover off. That ain't gonna happen.
I've seen reboot of The Shining. Have you seen The Shining reboot? Jeremy has. He's got it right there in the background.
Well, wasn't that what's it called?
It's- Which is a much more faithful adaptation to the movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
The book.
Oh yeah. I mean, what kind of killed it for me was the terrible CGI in that. In some scenes, I do remember like a little bit of bad CGI.
Even in the late '90s, CGI wasn't perfect. Nowadays, they could do it spotless.
Yeah, they can do it. They can get it. They can basically get away with it at this point.
Yep.
It's better. It's not perfect, but it's better. It's much better.
So there is times I still
It's
sometimes
a lot better than the CGI in the Langoliers.
Wow. Oh my god! Yeah, don't even get me started on that. That was
Wasn't
You're
that was the
brought it
one-
up too, don't forget, Don.
That was the one in the airport, like in the
Yep.
beginning, right?
Yes,
Yeah, with
right.
Bronson Pinchot or whatever his name is.
Yeah,
Balky.
Perfect Strangers Balky. Yes.
Yeah. Well,
He
of
put-
course it was. Don't be ridiculous.
Don't be ridiculous.
Now we're also happy we do the dance of joy. Die, 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 die.
Oh man,
I miss
Another
that show.
a Chicago-based show.
And that's where Family Matters came from, actually.
Yep. Family Matters is a spinoff of that show. Correct.
Because she worked in the newspaper building as the elevator operator.
That's right.
I remember. It was one of my shows.
This is Tom's World? Is that one of your episodes?
No, not yet.
Oh man. But
Oh, wait a second.
here, Ellison's asking, how is Steven doing now? I haven't heard anything lately about his health. I think I haven't heard much about how he is lately, but as far as I know, he's all right, and he's still writing novels. So yeah. nothing's holding him back apparently. So
Last time I seen him in anything was Sons of
I try
Anarchy.
to stay up to date on him. He seems to be doing well. He had just done a whole bunch of interviews when Holly came out. He seemed to be doing all right, but got to keep in mind the guy is just turned 76 years old.
Yep.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's
that's
getting
maybe.
old.
Old fart.
Yeah.
I do
mean-
remember too. He was also. This was 3 years ago now. He was also one point a guest on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. So he's still making media appearances. Oh, and by the way, real quick, since we mentioned this is Tom's World, just wanted to let people know about this.
Allison
How many
Old
times it's been mentioned?
Well,
I'm gonna-
this show it hasn't been mentioned yet, other than from Nick. So
Well, no,
it
Don
has
briefly
been
men-
displayed.
Don briefly mentioned it earlier too, so that counts as
Oh.
one of as a mention. So it's already 2
Oh, yeah.
times.
Yeah, and like, yeah, I saw your channel. Like, I saw you appear yesterday on when I was doing that live stream of The Last of Us Part 1. Yeah, you joined us
Yep.
just briefly on that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
I came in there with Clark Kent.
oh
he
yeah.
was on my feed for a little while there. I was teasing him so bad. I'm like, because the picture is of him, I guess, is Clark Kent ripping
Yeah.
off the shirt with Superman, and the things he was saying. I said, you're not really doing a good job at hiding your identity. Not that it was ever really that great. All you did was have a curl and put glasses on. We all knew.
Oh man. Wow. But yeah, I guess that's his thing. He just likes going like being Superman on YouTube. Yeah. So,
You know.
what? Yeah, there was that one incident in the late '90s, early 2000s where he was hit by a car on the roadside, but
Yes.
thankfully he recovered from that. So Stephen King,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
he's,
1999.
yes.
He almost lost a leg from that, but they really
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It was bad. It was really bad.
yeah, but thankfully he had made a full recovery. He was able to keep his legs. So yeah, man. I just was always impressed that no matter what went on in his life, Stephen King just kept on doing what he loved. Just kept on putting all sorts of amazing work out there.
That's true dedication.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
Commitment.
While he was still recovering from that, he hand wrote Dreamcatcher.
Yep, that's right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's true. Man,
Guys, I'll be back. Just one fun. I need to get some water. I'll be right back.
Here,
Nick, do what I do. Have a drinks prepared on the side.
Yeah, come
Right.
on.
Again, I've been working.
I have an open beer.
Yeah, we're at the
Unopened beer.
program. Chris, I have
I'm prepared. I've got food.
I have been to the Stanley twice, stayed overnight. It's a beautiful, beautiful location.
Oh yes,
Not just the hotel, not just the property, but the entire city of Estes Park. Just gorgeous.
oh yeah. Like I've seen pictures of that place. The first chance I get, I'm going. I want to see what that place is like.
It is. It's worth going there just for that.
Oh yeah. Oh
And when you're at the back, see the picture that everybody sees at the Stanley Hotel, that is actually the back of it. And when you're standing out there, you got that hedge maze that was
Still there.
featured in the movie.
okay.
And you see all these mountains and everything in the way that it is just a gorgeous scenery.
Oh totally. Nick getting prepared. That's not his style. Larry, hey, better late than never, Billy. So we were just getting started.
Not that late,
Not that late, no. But yeah, like Stephen King, he was inspired to write The Shining by staying at when he was staying at Stanley Hotel back in 1974, and yeah, that's what inspired him to write it, because he apparently had paranormal experiences, and I wanted Nick to be here to discuss that further because that's his field.
But I wonder where he got the idea for the hedge maze, because it wasn't there.
The hedge maze was not in the book. That was the Stanley Kubrick thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In the book, it was animal topiaries.
Topiaries.
Yeah.
It's like bushes shaped like animals.
Yes.
Yeah,
That-
topiaries. Yes, I've seen those.
Yeah. Now, however, I did read an article. I only read it one time, but it just struck me so weird that Stephen King's original idea in the book was to do a hedge maze. But then he changed it to the animals.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, Billy is saying the miniseries is faithful to the book. Yes, that is true. Jeremy was pointing that out earlier. Nick, yeah, we were just discussing how what inspired Stephen King to write The Shining because of his experience in the Stanley Hotel back in 1974. I'm sure you know plenty about it, Nick. So I want to let you answer about it.
Yeah, in fact, as a matter of fact, I've actually done an episode of the Stanley Hotel on a previous episode of Nick Files. I'm actually trying. I kind of figured that I would probably need that for tonight. So yeah, but as far as the story goes with Stephen King, it was man, it's been oh wait, I think it was room. What room was that, Jeremy? That this all occurred in
217.
217.
17. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
They sorry, I'm just trying to scroll through information, but yeah, it was where he had an experience that inspired him to write this to eventually write this book. And 217 understandably has been like the most notorious room in the entire hotel. It was, let's see. Okay, so it was in the fall of October 30th, ironically enough, just before Halloween 1974, during their brief residency in Boulder, Colorado. Horror writer Stephen King and his wife Tabitha spent one night at the Stanley Hotel. The visit is known entirely through interviews given by King in which he presents differing narratives of the experience. At the time of his visit, King was writing a book with the working title Darkshine, set in an amusement park, ironically enough, but was not satisfied with the setting. According to John Beam's Stephen King companion, on the advertisement of locals who suggested a resort hotel located in Estes Park, an hour's drive away to the north, Stephen and Tabitha King found themselves checking in at the Stanley Hotel just as its other guests were checking out, because the hotel was shutting down for the winter season. Only a skeleton crew remained, and they were the only paying guests. After checking into room 217, the presidential suite, and after Tabitha went to bed, King roamed the halls and went down to the hotel bar where drinks were served by a bartender named Grady. As he returned to his room, his imagination was fired up by the hotel's remote location, its grand size, and its eerie desolation. When King went into the bathroom and pulled back the pink curtain for the tub, which had claw feet, he thought, what if somebody died here? At that moment, I knew I had a book. In addition, King got the idea for a story about a man who goes crazy at a remote hotel that is closed for the winter. That night, the author had a horrific nightmare in which he saw his 3-year-old son being chased down the hotel's long, empty corridors by a predatory, possessed fire hose. He woke up drenched in sweat and stepped to the balcony to smoke a cigarette. By the time he stubbed it out, he worked out the bones of what would become his third novel and first bestseller, The Shining. And finally, the last thing I'll just read here is in a 1977 interview by the Literary Guild, King recounted, while we were living in Boulder, we heard about this terrific old mountain resort hotel and decided to give it a try. But when we arrived, they were just getting ready to close for the season, and we found ourselves the only guests in the place with those long, empty corridors. King and his wife were served dinner in an empty dining room accompanied by canned orchestral music. Except for our table, all the chairs were up on the tables. So the music is echoing down the hall. And I mean, it was like God had put me there to hear that and see those things. And by the time I went to bed that night, I had the whole book in my mind. King's unfortunate nightmare turned out to be a sweet dream and breath of life for the historic landmark.
Wow.
The staff isn't here, Mr. King.
Yeah.
There is another story about 217. Many years, actually, I think it was a couple of decades before Stephen King stayed there. There was a maid in there turning the room over after somebody had stayed, and something happened, and the room exploded.
Yeah, it was a fire that occurred in 1911.
Yeah,
Man.
it exploded,
Oh, yeah.
and somehow that maid survived.
That was just a little bit before he was there.
That's right.
Yeah, there was the gas explosion of 1911. It almost killed the head housekeeper, Elizabeth Wilson. She was lighting the lanterns in room 217 when there was an explosion which destroyed the second floor above the main dining hall.
Oh,
Elizabeth was blasted through the floor into the McGregor dining room below. But yeah, believe it or not, she survived with only broken ankles. And she ultimately recovered and returned.
To answer your question, they are still married.
Yes, to answer your question, I was wanting to ask that, Bill. Yes, they are still married. And also to answer your question earlier. Yes, sorry, I wasn't able to answer this earlier. Will you cover the miniseries and the movie sequel in the podcast? Yes, we are interested in covering those down the road. Yes, I've been wanting to see Doctor Sleep. Now that I've seen that it's available on HBO Max. Yeah,
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not The Shining. Don't expect The Shining when you see it, but it's not bad. And you actually buy what's his name is Danny too.
yes.
Yeah.
So, Jill, do you have anything to say about The Shining?
It's my favorite.
She's having some technical issues, just so you know. So she's kind of glitching a lot.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, because I was wondering
sucking
why it
me
seemed
in.
kind of quiet from her end. Yeah, so
It's not that she doesn't want to say anything. It's just she's having technical issues.
I know that. I figured it was some. I figured it was some technical issue. So no worries. Yeah,
But
so,
I just want.
Yeah,
go on.
Oh,
Scott
Nikki,
Waddle. What the hell just happened?
wait, were you asking Nikki something?
No. I was saying whatever else you guys were saying. Go ahead. I was going to say something, but I'll wait.
Hi, Chris. Chris, okay, so you switched from her Facebook account to her YouTube on here. Okay.
Well, YouTube is a really cool place.
Chris.
Yeah, it's an awesome place.
Well, that's
So,
why
a lot
your
of cool
channel.
people.
That's why you're on. You have your channel.
Yes, Ewan McGregor. Yes, he played
Sarah.
Danny Torrance as an adult in Doctor Sleep. That's right. Ewan McGregor, great actor. I especially liked him as Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And wasn't he in that? Oh my God, what was that ridiculous movie? Where it was like the tall tales and all that.
Red.
What was it?
I know what you're talking about. It's big something.
Big Fish.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Big Fish. Yes,
Mhm.
I
it
remember that
was. Yeah, it was. You're right.
Because I remember one of the characters in that movie was ridiculously tall.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think he was actually part of the Howard Stern crew. That dude. I think. I'm not sure.
The actor who played Danny in the original has a cameo in Doctor Sleep. Oh, yeah,
Yes.
Danny Lloyd, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't continue acting.
No, yeah, he quit acting years ago. And speaking of quit acting, I wanted to bring this
A
up when we were.
teacher or something.
Yeah, he became a teacher. Yes, I want.
Yep,
oh,
see,
I think
there she
Jill's
goes.
having issues. Oh man. But yeah, I wanted to mention this. So we were talking about Stephen King's health. The one person's health I'm was concerned with for the past few years has been Jack Nicholson, because he's, as some of you know, Jack Nicholson has for well over a decade now has been suffering from dementia, and from what I've been told, it's been getting bad.
Yeah,
And,
I mean,
so-
the guy's in his. I think he's like 90 years old now.
Getting close to
He's
it.
in his 80s.
He's in his 80s, yes, but yeah, but that's the reason why he had to stop acting. He retired from it 13 years ago.
Yeah, I kind of figured he did. 'Cause that's pretty much understandably the reason why we really don't see him. I mean, I think he every once in a while I don't know about now with his dementia, but I know over the last couple of years he had a number of he did a number of interviews, but he was basically retired from acting. Other than that,
I see.
It's really a shame that he had to retire from that, because he had so many iconic roles.
86.
Sarah has mentioned the Joker. He was a damn good Joker.
Wait till they get a load of
Artist
me.
Jack Torrance, his role in A Few Good Men. You can't handle the truth. That's one of the best lines in cinema history.
Yes.
Well,
And,
did you guys know that Jack
Mhm.
Nicholson, like in addition to other movies that he's in, did you? And I know it's early for me to even bring it up, but it's involving a Christmas movie. Did you guys know that Jack Nicholson was originally supposed to play the father in the movie A Christmas Story?
I couldn't
Oh,
even
yeah.
imagine that.
That's
I
right.
actually kind of pictured it, and it's kind of funny that he chose that role because this was 3 years after he did The Shining. Now he's trying to kill a kid in that movie. This
Yeah.
one,
I mean, he's become known for playing villains in his career, like for playing Jack Torrance in The Shining, Jack Napier, Joker in Batman, and also I believe his last villain role that he did was in The Departed when he played Costello.
And oddly enough, there is a connection to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in two different Batman movies because Danny DeVito was in that with him.
Yes, that's right. That's true.
He was also in Little Shop of Horrors. He has been in many movies.
That was one of his
the original.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was in his early 20s at the time. That's the one that Roger Corman directed.
He did the same role that Bill Murray did.
Well, see, the earliest movie I've seen with Jack Nicholson, and this was actually in his late 20s. This was back in the 60s. Was the Hell's Angels movie that he was in? I think it was just called. I don't know if it was called Hell's Angels on Wheels, but at that time he was like 29 years old. But they're like,
Can you imagine the change of trajectory of Christmas Story if Jack Nicholson had?
Oh my God!
It's an award.
Hell's Angels on Wheels. That's the movie. That's what the movie was called. So
that could be anything in there. There could be a bowling alley.
Chinatown.
Yeah.
Oh. Should I bring up Chinatown on the chat or no? Oh yeah, that's right. He was in Chinatown. That's right. I remember I had to see that for a film class years ago.
Well, and also, and let's not forget one other movie that he was in. This was part of an ensemble cast in the mid-90s. Obviously, he was also in Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
Everybody was in that movie.
That's why it's called an ensemble cast. They have all these big name actors in that film, and I don't know how Tim Burton managed to have the money for all those guys, even for Jack.
And he played two roles in that
movie.
It
was the production company that did
that too. Yeah,
he played two roles in that movie.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson has done some work with Tim Burton. He not only did he star in Batman, but he also played President of the United States in Mars Attacks.
And
that's what I just said.
Yeah,
the Western tycoon guy or whatever he was.
Yeah,
in that movie.
Wait, Sarah. It's like asking this.
Yes.
Was the famous line? Here's Johnny. Line improvised.
I was waiting for someone to bring that up. I knew that was going to come up in this. Yes, that was improvised by Jack Nicholson himself. It's a reference to the late night talk show with Johnny Carson. Here's Johnny.
You know what I was just thinking of, and I gotta bring it up, but it's still associated with The Shining. Was the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episode, The Shitting.
Yes. Yep. We got to talk about the parodies as well.
All work and no play makes Homer something. Go crazy? Don't mind if I do.
Give me the bat, Marge. Give me the bat.
If I remember right, and I could be wrong on this, but if I remember right, in the book, Jack instead of his Johnny, I think he says boo. I could be wrong. I know he does that in the miniseries, but I think that's what he did in the book as well.
But he did that as the Joker.
Yeah. Oh man! And, they parodied The Shining in so much work. Also in South Park. You remember that from 10 years ago? Yeah, that Halloween episode where Randy buys a blockbuster, and the blockbuster is not successful. This is the time when streaming and Netflix and was just taking over as far as home viewing. He was getting no customers, and it just drove him insane. He basically became Jack Torrance through that. Oh man.
There's a lot of things
you guys
that Stephen King did not like in it, and it's not just how Jack Torrance was portrayed, but also Wendy. He did not like how she was portrayed because in the book she was a strong woman, whereas in the movie she was very weak.
Yeah, because I didn't read the book yet. I mean, I just bought it, so that's gonna be my book I'm gonna be reading for the next month or so. But
it's a good read. It's a really good read.
I will.
Shelley Duvall does not exactly strike you as a strong person, especially back then. I mean, hell, she was olive oil. You know.
Yeah, it was. That's true. Like Robin Williams as Popeye. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
But actually, the line from The Simpsons, I got it wrong. It
Johnny
wasn't
Mnemonic.
all work and no play. It was no TV and no beer.
No,
Make
tea,
Homer
no
something,
beer,
Yes.
no TV makes Homer go crazy.
something.
and I just,
Yeah.
Tom,
I just
can
love.
see you being that person. Say no beer, no TV.
Yep. And I also like how like just that whole parody of The Shining on The Simpsons, it was just amazing. Like Bart just like cutting through the hedge maze, and oh man. And
Well, what I really liked is when the blood comes out and Mr. Burns says, well, this usually comes out on the second floor.
I knew you were going to bring that up.
the blood from the elevator, yes. Oh, here, I wanted to answer this question that Billy had. Or here. Do you guys miss Gene Hackman as an actor? He was amazing. I especially liked him as Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I wasn't buying the baldness though. That's not Gene Hackman. I mean, no other role that I could think of was he bald.
Yes. For those of you guys who are writers, how much do you relate to Jack Torrance? Well, I only relate to Jack Torrance in just one way. Actually, I relate to Jack Nicholson in just one way. People, ever since I was a teenager, people said I have the Jack Nicholson grin. People actually compared, like whenever I laugh, my grin, people compared it to like the Joker in Batman. So
I can't relate to Jack Torrance because I don't drink, and that's another thing about when Stephen King was coming up with The Shining in his head, he was an alcoholic at that time, and
true.
really bad at it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just want to say one other funny moment I was going to say about The Simpsons is when when Willie like got the shitting connection for Bar, went to the hotel, he got hit in the back of the head. Like, is that the best you can do?
Yeah, like that throughout that whole. Willie had like the worst luck throughout that whole Halloween special, and every single story. In the next story after that, where Homer was like traveling through time and like messing up timelines. You know, Willie's like, "You're still not in your own world, Homer. I can get you home, but you have to do exactly as I." Gets in the back, and then Maggie appears and then talks in James Earl Jones' voice. This is indeed a disturbing universe.
One thing I liked with Willie was when he was Freddy Krueger in that one.
Yeah. Well,
he's on fire, and the teacher conference, whatever they were doing there, they said, "Wait your turn. This guy's talking." So Willie, on fire, sits down in the chair.
Just sits down like it's no big deal.
Oh, that was great.
And then he screams.
And then just.
I mean, unless like all of your nerves have been burned, I don't know how you could just simply sit down and just wait. Because I think you'd be screaming bloody murder in reality.
Well, he did eventually for a second.
Yeah.
And then just went.
Oh yeah, the time traveling thing with the toast.
Yeah.
Well, the bottom line is like what he said in the last one.
Show.
The bottom line is, like he said in the last segment too, is that man, he's bad at this.
And the last one, he's like, "Hold on, kids, I'm coming to rescue the lot of ya." And then gets hit with the axe again. And he's like, "Oh, I'm bad at this."
I'm bad at this.
Okay, you know what? That just got me in the mood. After we're done with this, I'm going on Disney Plus and I'm watching the Treehouse of Horror, the Halloween specials of The Simpsons.
There you go.
I'm going to sleep watching it.
Me too.
I've already watched that a month ago. The first 20 of them I did.
Oh man. Oh, here, Billy wanted to ask everybody this. What do you think of Nicholson and anger management?
I've never seen that one.
I've seen it, but it's been a while.
I've
That was
seen
with was that with Adam
seen it.
Sandler?
Adam Sandler.
Yeah, I do remember that one. That wasn't bad.
Yes.
I hate
wasn't
Adam
bad.
Sandler.
I saw it when it came out in theater, and that's the only time I've seen it.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I wouldn't have paid to see it, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah,
But I
Adam
like a lot
Sandler,
of Jack movies, so
Yeah, I'm very happy. La 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 la. See. Nice. Yeah, of course they threw in Mo as the bartender for a Shining parody. Yeah, it's like,
what do you have there?
Is there anybody better than Mo to put in that role?
I mean, who else are you gonna find?
Yeah.
What do you want, a flaming Mo?
Nice. Yeah, Hank Azaria. Don't you have more comments about the cinematography? Oh yeah, I just love just how detailed like every single scene is. Like, oh man, like, dude, just not only just the tracking shots, but like the focus on the characters. Like, oh man, like the cut, the whole editing was just perfect.
Yeah.
Like the back and forth with the characters, especially with oh, okay, Jeremy, just
He probably had to step off for a second.
okay, yeah, no problem, no worries.
It's no different than what I was doing earlier.
Oh, good.
It was an
I
action.
wish your family and I'll keep you up here. Oh yeah, and like especially with that disturbing scene, like that the editing was great. Like in all the scary scenes, like especially like that bathtub scene. Oh my god.
Oh my god, that scene.
Was it Mr. Burns in the tub? No.
No.
That would have been funny though, huh?
They should have done that.
I will admit though, I mean that scene that you just brought.
Right.
Oh,
Yes.
wait a
Room
minute. Here,
237.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
Zoom in on that.
So this right here is a documentary, and
Oh,
it
cool.
just goes into great detail about The Shining and all the hidden messages and the hidden innuendos in the film. It was like
Hey, Warren.
everything that was in that movie, according to this, everything that was in that movie was for a very specific purpose, including positions of certain cans that was in the pantry.
Yes, that's right. I was gonna bring that up.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did notice that.
Because the way the Campbell's soup was in contrast to the Chunky was no, I'm just kidding.
It and also somebody had done an overlay of the film going forward and backward, and there's something that comes together when it goes to the ending credits and the beginning credits. Something lines up perfectly like that. And
Yes.
there's another thing where at a few other places in the movie that just morphs one into the other perfect.
It does. Yes.
It's just mind-boggling how that movie was made. And to be quite honest, The Shining, this version of The Shining is iconic, legendary, a great movie. But when it comes to adaptations of a book, it sucks.
Well, and that's true of every movie that was made from a book, though, when you really think about it.
Well,
Not in the manner that The Shining was.
Yeah.
There'd be like a 10-15% similarity between the book and the movie, whereas it would be the other way around for most of his other books.
Like you take the Anne Rice's Interview with a Vampire, and then they skipped over the whole Vampire Lestat book, and then they just integrated little parts of it into Queen of the Damned.
that's right.
It was all kind of messed up. And I mean, would I have ever picked Tom Cruise to play Lestat? Hell no. But I mean, they did mess it up a bit. So I mean, that's just one example.
Here's one example. Here's one supposed book to film adaptation that completely ignores the book, World War Z.
Yeah, World War Z.
Never read the book.
Oh yeah,
I've never seen the film, but I've read parts of the book.
Oh yeah, the book was written by Max Brooks, who is the son of filmmaker Mel Brooks.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Wow.
Yep. Max
It's
Brooks.
good to be
wrote,
the king.
Yeah, Max Brooks. He wrote World War Z and also the Zombie Survival Guide. I have both books. Here, I can. Well, bring him over just to give you an idea. Hang on.
Oh,
I
while you're doing that, John,
I do have World War Z movie.
I knew someone was going to say this in the comments. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. I just knew that comment was going to come up sooner or later.
No TV and no beer make Homer something.
Oh, yes. Starship Troopers book was different. The movie was different from the book in Starship Troopers. You know, and that's another one I like, by the way. Another good sci-fi flick.
Wait, that's a book?
Yeah. What's up,
Either.
Vane Ripper? Thank you so much for tuning in.
Welcome.
I would not have guessed that was a book.
But yeah,
You mad?
so he wrote this first, the Zombie
Oh my
Survival
God,
Guide,
no.
and this is like absolutely an amazing read. It's like so detailed as far as like any kind of scenario, like any way you could overpower a zombie. this was a fun book to look at. And also, of course, this World War Z, this actually has a very amazing story, like showing a whole world descending into chaos from a zombie virus.
Well, I was going to zoom in on the book.
Going at 100 miles an hour.
There you go. Yeah, I remember the zombie survival guide book. I think you showed that to me a while back, Don.
I believe I did.
I don't hate Tom Cruise. I just hate him as Lestat. I more so accept whatever his name was, the guy in Queen of the Damned. I more so accept him as Lestat.
Yes, it is, Sarah.
I would Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Have you watched the series?
Oh, the miniseries? Yeah. What do you guys think about the miniseries?
Surprisingly, I haven't actually seen the series yet.
Same.
Yeah.
Right now, though.
Yeah, to me it was kind of cheesy, like with the visual effects and also the fact that he was using a cricket mallet instead of an axe, and it's like I don't know, it just has a very different feel to it. Like it's not as for me, it wasn't as compelling as Jack Nicholson, going using the axe. Oh, and also I should mention I forgot to tell this to you guys when we were talking about that Here's Johnny scene. Yeah, like he was actually able to take that. Like the reason why Jack Nicholson would just effortlessly took down that door is because he actually once trained as a fire marshal years ago, so he knew his way around an axe.
That's right. He knew how to specifically chop a hole in the door just big enough for his face.
That's right.
Yeah.
When he did that Here's Johnny thing, I think he actually did several takes saying different things each time.
I wouldn't be surprised. That didn't look like just simply one shot, like not like that one and done shot. It had to take a couple shots.
I would love to see that compilation. Just who's your
daddy?
daddy?
We saw that with Homer at least 3 times, and he messed up on the first 2 rubs.
Yeah. David Letterman. Hi, David. I'm Grandpa. So
I think that's
I'm
what
Wallace. All of us tonight on 60 Minutes.
Ancient Chinese secret, huh?
and that's probably why they did that with Homer in that thing, because Jack Nicholson had done it and they just took that last one because everybody knew Here's Johnny, that's gold.
Yep. Improvising dialogue. Yes.
There you go,
random
Don.
lines.
Don. Here's Donnie.
Yep, I have done that. I have said that. And also the thing about Disney Finding Nemo, they use that line. Like when Bruce the shark was chasing after Marlin and Dory, breaking through a door. When the door was just barely cracked open, you could just see Bruce's face saying, "Here's Brucey." Yes. Here, Billy, I want to answer your question here. Okay, so this is to all of you. If Kubrick lived, would you picture him making and completing AI artificial intelligence? Yes, that's the film that Steven Spielberg took over after Kubrick died.
It
was a strange film.
It really was.
Yeah.
And you got the feeling. I mean, I don't know, it was definitely more than one person. Even if you didn't know that, because it's like one of those things, just like say with Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
Like that movie, about halfway through, once Pyle kills himself, it's a completely different movie that could exist all on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That film kind of had that feeling.
That's true.
Stephen King actually once said that, when it comes to somebody like Stanley Kubrick, and I know what I'm about to say is going to sound absolutely crazy, but you have to remember, a lot of people back in the late 60s did this, of course. He said that, even back in the late 60s, he was ahead of his time, and he doesn't mean he was ahead of other people. I mean, he was ahead, on top of a lot of people, dropped a lot of acid, did a lot of peyote, went to go see 2001: A Space Odyssey in theaters, and he just thought, wow, he was like thrilled with the fact that Stanley Kubrick would eventually make his book into a film. Yes. So it was all the drug experiences, just seeing 2001 that kind of thought, imagine if one of my own books is made by him. And it did over a decade later.
That's right. And that's right. Billy does bring a good point. Stanley Kubrick, he was originally going to do AI, artificial intelligence, but did Eyes Wide Shut, that being his last film before his death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And he has done all kinds of great work, including 2001: Space Odyssey, Clockwork Orange.
That's a
Oh,
good
man.
film.
That one was a really, really strange movie
It was.
and extremely risque
Never heard
too,
of it.
because he actually had that threesome there in the middle of the
Oh
movie.
yeah.
In
Yeah.
fast motion.
Let's say yeah, with
Faster.
Beethoven's music. No, wait, was it Beethoven or Mozart?
Ludwig van.
And
Yeah.
then the fact that Malcolm McDowell actually almost died in that movie.
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
It was a pretty risky
Yeah.
type. It was a pretty risky act for some of
Now,
those.
Speaking of that, speaking of Malcolm McDowell, now I don't know if they've
Wait.
ever done a film together, but I would have loved to have seen him and Jack Nicholson in a movie together.
I got it.
Oh my god, that would have been
I'm
fantastic.
singing in the rain.
In the rain.
Well, let's talk about that scene from that movie. Oh my god.
oh man.
When
Come on with the rain.
What were you gonna say, Jeremy?
when
Got
you
caught
look
up.
at 2001, that movie is just on a league of its own.
Yeah, it is.
That was a different movie.
With
Yep.
everything else.
I'm afraid I can't let you do that.
You know,
What are you
some
doing?
people actually don't realize this about about 2001. I mean, 2001: A Space Odyssey undoubtedly is definitely one of the best science fiction movies. But believe it or not, it's as crazy as it's going to sound. It's been featured on horror film lists because, obviously people don't really necessarily see it as a horror movie, but it is kind of a horror film in several ways. There was one actor they interviewed when it came out in 1968. He was only 7 years old. Saw that film in theaters and didn't understand it, but it was probably more terrifying than he ever could have imagined because there is a dark point in that film. You're relying on technology that's supposed to support your life. I mean, to support you in every way, especially out in outer space. And then all of a sudden, that machinery turns on you. So it does kind of have a little bit of a horror aspect to it.
What are you doing,
The
Dave?
brilliant thing about this movie too is the lack of dialogue.
Yeah, there's very little dialogue in the film.
Yeah, it is a very visual and visceral movie.
Yes, it is. I mean, Stanley Kubrick was always amazing with giving us extraordinary visuals.
Yeah.
Maybe
really
that
was.
comes from his drug experience.
Yeah. Well, and
Maybe
also,
he hung
too,
out with Hunter S. Thompson too much.
Yeah, there were even seems things in even just The Shining. There was some out of nowhere moments, like the where
Hold on
oh
one
man,
second.
like when Wendy was like looking for when Wendy was out looking for Danny, and when Jack was going insane, looking in the rooms, and she finds like that one with the man and the bear.
Oh yeah, that was okay. So I'm gonna say something about
That
that
was-
real quick. That scene, when she sees the man in the bear costume, you could literally tell that there's some kind of sex thing going on. You don't know what's going on still, but you know it's not good regardless.
The boner was the dead giveaway. I mean,
Oh my god! And also, and of course, there's that bathroom scene, like where
with the old
where
woman.
Jack sees this woman, and then walks towards her, starts making out, but then in the mirror notices it's an old rotting woman.
Yeah, like
corpse.
an old hag of some sort.
Mr.
She's like
Burns.
a beautiful
Yeah.
woman at first, and then like starts turning into the zombie. I mean, that was just disgusting.
Yeah, there was basically
Mr. Burns.
the ghost was basically trolling him, like saying, "Oh, here's a very like incredibly beautiful young woman," and makes out with him. He looks in the mirror, it's like, "Psych, you're kissing a disgusting rotting corpse."
Why are you
Yeah.
kissing me, Simpson?
There's
actress that
there's
played-
another part in this movie that really sticks out, and this was actually brought up in this. But there is a scene
Night
where
Elsa.
Wendy and Danny are watching TV. And when you look at the TV, it's got no power cord to it.
That's right.
That's right. Oh, one thing I want to
Thanks,
bring up.
Chris.
So I'm guessing many of you are familiar with the Steven Spielberg film Ready Player One.
Yes.
Yes, they
And,
have.
No.
The Shining has played a role in. Wait, what? I'm sorry.
No.
Somebody
no,
say something.
Go.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead. Keep going. Keep going.
So yeah, like The Shining has played a pretty big role in Ready Player One as well, because Ready Player One is like it takes place where there's the video game world called the Oasis. Everybody's trying to find the keys to like win the ultimate prize, becoming the owner of the Oasis. One of the keys is inside. They found out one of the keys is inside the world of The Shining, the movie, because it's one of the all-time favorite movies of the creator of the Oasis, and they go in and you see the outdoor shot of the Outlook Hotel, and oh man, it was like so like they followed just about every detail of that place. And like I saw Ready Player One with my cousin Mickey, and when we saw this together and we saw that outside shot of the hotel, and then Mickey was like, "Wait, Don, is that the?" And I'm like, "Yes." And I'm like, "Oh, it's like yes, they have put that hotel in this movie. Everything was just so incredibly detailed based on what you see in The Shining, including that bath.
Yes, it is.
Again,
Shut up now. Watch.
Yeah, again, the bathtub scene. And that they threw that into it as well, and the hedge maze, everything.
You know, I gotta just throw this out. The actress that played that zombie woman in the original film, that was her only acting role. She never did any more films afterwards.
See, that's so there was two people that was their only acting role. Her
that was it. I mean,
that played Danny.
Yeah,
the Ready Player One scene. Yeah, that scene was cool.
Yeah, there's something very specific about that scene. There was a certain phrase that was a clue to get the key. Something never took, like a choice she never took, something, and it ended up having to ask the girl to dance, and that's how you got that second key.
Yeah,
that's right. So let's see what I was going to say. And I also wanted to bring up the whole psychic power of Danny Torrance. Him along with his guide Tony. Yeah, like oh man, like those scenes where he's just like, "Mrs. Torrance," like
Danny
like manifesting
here, Mrs. Torrance.
Oh my god. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you guys.
I don't want to go in.
Bring up Sarah's last comment. Sarah, are you talking about the carpet in the Stanley Hotel being the same as the one in the movie? If that's what you're talking about, no, it's
I don't think it's the same anymore.
Well, and the other thing too,
it was never was.
Well, and also when they shot certain areas of The Shining, it was actually filmed in two different spots. There was the Timberline Lodge, which I believe was up in what was that? I think in Oregon. I think I know, obviously, Jeremy, I remember when you were there for when I did those episodes of Nick Files. I covered those two places.
Yeah, I want to say that it was in Washington, but I'm not sure. All I know is that I checked out that hotel and it is expensive.
Oh, it is. Okay, so it was the Timberline Lodge and Albany Hotel. Albany Hotel, I believe, is in California, and Timberline Lodge, I believe, is in Oregon. So along the Pacific Northwestern areas.
Yeah, that's right.
And they are both said to be haunted in reality.
Oh, cool.
Yes, it is. So I wanted to ask you guys, each one of you, what was your favorite? What do you think is the scariest moment of The Shining? Starting with Jill. Jill, what would you say was the scariest moment?
Other than the bathtub scene, maybe the twins. The elevator, the twins.
Elevator with the blood, yes. The blood that usually gets off on the second floor.
Oh, I got off on the wrong floor.
Yeah, let's see. What about you, Jeremy? What did you think was the scariest moment?
I'm going to say right there at the very end where Wendy and Danny are in that Bobcat or whatever it is, leaving the hotel, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's Jack frozen.
Yep.
I would say that's the scariest.
He went from Jack Torrance to Jack Frost.
I
gotta say
that sudden cut to that scene, because you're not expecting that. To me,
hey,
that
Don, remember when in the end of that episode that you were talking about with South Park when Randy got frozen, he was still able to talk though.
Yeah. What do you did like? Yeah, then asking him what he wants from McDonald's. Yeah, I'd like chicken nuggets, chicken nuggets. Oh man.
Zero's ahead of us.
Oh man. So, and let's see. What about you, Tom? What do you think was the scariest moment?
Well, actually, as an adult, it's different than what was scary for me as a kid. As an adult, it was really just the end. That look on Jack's face as he's frozen and just frozen in time. Just the idea of that just blows my mind and scares the shit out of me. But when I was a kid, it was the whole bat scene. It was just so intense, like Wendy, darling, light of my life. It's. And I don't know. It scared the crap out of me as a kid.
I gotcha.
The most ironic part to be scared of, but
Nikki, what would you say is the scariest moment of this film?
Probably the bath scene for me, and the twins as well.
the twins were just weird.
Yeah, they were strange. It's like
they didn't scare me even as a kid.
Like they don't threaten. They're not like acting like threatening or anything. They were just offering. Evidently, they were just offering Danny friendship, saying, "Come play with us forever," meaning they'll be friends forever. So it's like, okay,
forever and ever and ever.
That's right. What about you, Nick? What was the most terrifying moment of this film?
I think it was kind of a couple scenes. I mean, I'm gonna kind of go with everybody else. The twins, the bathtub scene, but not necessarily a scary scene, but it was still shocking though, was the scene, when Wendy goes down and sees all the work that Jack had worked on, picked up that paper and sees the words, "All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy," written over and over in reams and reams of paper, which it's scary. It's terrifying in itself because you think to yourself, you start realizing
signs.
Yeah, well, it also shows not only that he's been going crazy, but how long he's been going crazy.
Oh man, that would take like hours and hours just to type that. It's like have you seen
there was no copy and paste.
Yeah, with a typewriter.
This was a typewriter.
Oh my!
I got one of those. Those take a while to type.
Yeah, and for me, the ending was among the most shocking moments. With the jet, not just because of Jack's frozen face, but what it shows after that zooms into a picture that I'm guessing that was open to interpretation as to what it meant. Is Jack was somehow linked to the history of the hotel? But a lot of people think that. But for me, it was just saying now that Jack is gone, he has become one with the spirits of the hotel.
That actually ties in with what Grady had told when he was telling him, when he was serving him the alcohol, when he came into that ballroom that was all of a sudden just filled with people. You're the caretaker. You've always been the caretaker, and I take that in along with that picture that he's always just been there.
Well, and also too, there's a lot of different interpretations with the film. They even sometimes question if the ghosts are even real to begin with. Is it really a haunted hotel? Because sometimes it could be just because when you feel the cold, you feel the loneliness, and obviously when you're completely isolated, it eventually drives you crazy. It could lead to hallucinations, that kind of thing. And so even without the ghost, you can kind of see that the hotel becomes more of a character in itself. But, there's that popular theory about that picture that after when Jack dies, he somehow got absorbed with them. But there's also this theory, like you said about Jeremy, that maybe he's always been there. It may have also even been let's say his dad or his grandfather, because in the early part of the film, when he's talking to the original manager, to the manager who said about the murder that occurred 10 years earlier, about the guy who killed his family, which included the two little girls. And then all of a sudden Jack runs into that same person, that ghost. And
that was Grady.
Yeah, that was Grady.
Yeah.
Well, and there's even a belief that maybe Jack is actually Grady reincarnated in a way. So he's seeing his past self, and now he's the new Grady. So like you said, Jerry, it's like he's always been there, but it's like he's reincarnated. Essentially, it's like he's seeing his dad or his grandfather in a way. like passing from
There's-
father to son.
There's another connection that I don't think very many people have made that I have recently when I started going through all of his books again. Jack Torrance's attraction, if you will, to the hotel is not very dissimilar to the attraction of evil to the Marston house in Salem's Lot.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a ton of like what ifs as far as like what really was going on if like the story we saw was just part of everything in his head. I mean, for all we know, he could have just been some insane guy that was in an abandoned hotel and all that was made up, including his family and everything. And he could have just been going through.
I think Stanley Kubrick's intention was, I think, to let the viewers decide. I don't think he had a particular like intentional direction. It was like, I mean, if he was still alive today, if you talk to him today, he would probably say, whatever happens in The Shining is anyone's guess. If you want to believe it's ghosts, if you want to believe it's just hallucinations, if you want to believe it could be just craziness, it's up to you to decide.
It's like what they did with the last Sopranos episode, where it just went black. And they said, whatever you think happened, that's what happened. Although I do remember when that happened, me and my dad were pissed. We thought something was wrong with our TV. We're like, no, it was the last couple of minutes.
And that in itself was good.
Oh, man.
There is something that I'm surprised that nobody had brought up.
Oh, I know, Billy.
Talking about the scariest scenes in The Shining. It's not exactly scary, but there are two particular scenes not quite halfway through the movie where you can definitively tell this is the point where Jack Torrance is going crazy. And one of those is where he's sitting on his, I think it was his bed in their quarters of the hotel, where little Danny comes in and Jack has him come up and he tries to reassure him, hey, I love you and all of that stuff. But the way that he was acting, you can tell this guy is going crazy. There's another one where he is just staring off into space with this weird look, and the camera is slowly zooming in on him. And those two particular scenes, while not scary, but quite cerebral.
Kind of unsettling still in a way.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And yes, Sarah, you're right. It's the onion rings. You just
Onion
grab
rings
that
got
one.
what
It's
he
like,
had.
The onion rings.
and that was it.
Oh, wow. So I wanted to ask each one of you, when did you first see this movie? Let's start with let's see, Nikki, when did you first see this? Everybody.
Very long time ago. I think it was back in 1990.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah,
you're right.
I saw this when it aired on AMC.
Of course, on FearFest.
Yep. Let's see. What about you? Let's see, Tom. Let's see. When did you first see this?
It was
No, I haven't.
probably mid 80s. I saw it on like a cable station we had locally at the time called Prism, which was just a regular cable like HBO or all that. But I'm pretty sure I saw it on there, and I want to say I saw it at my grandparents' house, like late at night by myself. It's the same way I saw Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Hey, same way I saw Dog Soldiers. Alone in the house, 10 years old. Parents didn't even know what kind of violent, gory movie I saw.
Well, my grandparents loved showing me all kinds of like they took me to see Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one.
Did they?
I had nightmares that night about Freddy Krueger. The only nightmares I ever had about Freddy Krueger, because every other time I was with him when he was in my dreams. So, not with him. Not in
Well, you should. I was gonna say that would have been a great episode of This Is Bob's World.
It's just another one in case where you've got, I've got
So
the-
Freddy, so what are we doing tonight? No, like I was actually helping him in the other dreams. Interpret that, what you will, but
Yep. Let's see. Jill, when did you first see this movie?
What year was it? that it came out?
1980.
80?
Yes.
God, I was so small. So, yeah, my first four is 5. So anywhere after 5, I could have been 6.
Yeah, I think I was about 10.
Yeah.
6 years old watching The Shining. Oh, you beat me.
Oh yeah, that's why the girls scared me a lot, like the ghost girls.
That's around the same age that I saw like The Exorcist for the first time, like 6, 7, somewhere in there. That's why it scared the crap out of me as a kid.
6 or 7 and seeing The Exorcist. My
yeah,
God.
I think so. When was it The Exorcist
Me
came
too.
out? That was
It was 1973 came out.
70. Yeah. Because by then they would have had it on TV, but it was the TV version. But still, it was scary
Yeah.
as a kid.
Me too.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be scary, yeah.
Even the TV version is pretty disturbing.
Yeah, there was no crucifix sex going on the TV version, but
Oh, God.
no lick me, none of that. That wouldn't happen.
Jesus.
I think we
Yeah,
rented
because
it
because oh, you did? Oh.
like a
Yeah.
rental movie.
Yeah, like at a Blockbuster back when that was still a thing.
Video Village.
Mhm.
Oh, right. Oh man, video rentals a thing of the past, and that plays a huge role in that. Like I said, a huge role in the South Park parody. Just that episode showing you that we were going into a completely different time. Oh, here, Billy asks a pretty good question here. What did you cover Scooby Doo on Zombie Island for the podcast? I never
If
even
you
thought of
do
that.
that, I am going to be because that is my favorite Scooby Doo movie.
Yeah, it is. That's mine too.
It's a good one. Yes.
Like we really got to do it.
It definitely does have a darker plot. Considering Pride.
Well, this is the first time where the ghost is real.
Yeah, they were
on
zombies.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Well, if
Yeah.
you don't include the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. But
Well, that's true. Yeah.
And I guarantee at some point in there, Freddie recommends that they all split up.
Typical.
Just saying.
But
and such
yeah.
And he gets to go with Daphne.
yeah.
What's going
Of course
on
he-
when they go off
Done.
on their own?
Of course he does. Yeah, I'll consider it. I never thought about covering Scooby Doo movies on here, but I'll consider it. Yes, I mean, then like we definitely got to do because I know that some of you guys on here,
You go through some scary situations.
Yeah, they do.
yeah, and obviously many of you on here are fans of Scooby Doo, so yeah, I think at some point we will cover Zombie Island.
Got
Yes,
Scooby-Doo tattooed right on my arm.
There.
I was
wait,
down
wait,
the
wait,
last-
hang on.
really?
Zoom in on that. You're getting a lot
Let's
of.
see.
You're getting a
Zoom
lot
in.
of solo layouts today, Jeremy.
Whoa,
Hey, that's me.
Don, you forgot to
Nice.
ask me about when did I see Shining? What the hell?
yeah, I'm sorry. What I got caught up in conversations. I'm sorry. Yeah,
He's only
so
covered the bottom
oh.
panel.
Like I'm not a
Scooby-Doo.
pothead.
oh, here.
All right, Rick, when did you first see The Shining?
When I saw that,
Which
when I
is
saw The
Ghost?
Shining, I was
Yeah.
when I saw The Shining, I was probably about 12 years old, and I think it actually couldn't have came at a better time because, again, as I've always said numerous times, it was right around the same time that I was just be turning into this up and coming young ghost hunter. So seeing that film could have been a better time because that was at the start of my paranormal career. So it scared me, that's for sure. Definitely did.
Mm-hmm. I watched The
Hi,
Shining 2 when I
Magnus.
was 12.
Well, and
That's right.
I actually got to bring, you know what, come to think of it now, because Jeremy, you talked about this earlier in the show around that same time, because we saw it when we were in Colorado, and we were about 2 hours away from Estes Park. And Jeremy, kind of like you, I think I probably told you before, I had the opportunity to check out the Stanley Hotel, but
When we were at Adrian's house, we were
we were supposed to go.
45 miles from the Stanley.
I was going to ask Adrian at some point, like if we were still going to go check it out, but I know we were kind of in a rush because we had to go to Canyon City. So,
Yeah, we never did get the time.
well,
He's gonna be like,
hopefully
"Hey,
next
Adrian,
hopefully next time we'll be able to. But yeah, I definitely agree. Jeremy, like you said, it's a beautiful building, but man, it is expensive as hell. And you know, even when I went
it's
back
expensive.
even when I went back in 2006, even though the prices were a little bit lower, it was still expensive as hell regardless. It's a very difficult place to even stay just one night. Although what's kind of cool though, and it should be noted, the Stanley Hotel has its own channel where they play The Shining repeatedly.
It does. Yep.
Oh man!
But I often wonder too. I actually even
not
asked
surprised.
myself I even asked myself at one point, thinking, well, because they made the new one, Doctor Sleep, a few years ago, I wonder if they're going to start adding that one too. But I think they're just sticking to the original film.
I don't think Cobra's a horror movie. It's a great
think so.
movie. It's a great movie, but it's more action suspense.
Yeah.
One
Did
movie
Stallone
franchise
ever
that
do a
somebody-
horror movie?
Yeah.
And,
One
well, I was going to say, first time I've seen The Shining, I actually got it at the video rental store.
Of course.
Yeah.
my family is actually suggesting also, Billy, like one franchise that's somewhat horror.
What's that? Oh,
Scary
come
movie.
on.
You got to do that.
I mean, my family's been suggesting this. I just got the Blu-ray. I guess just out of nostalgia, but yeah. I mean, people do die in this, so it does have some horror aspects to it.
Yeah, and they mimic other horror movies, and what's his name gets rolled up as a joint.
Yes, Shorty. Yeah,
Yeah.
Sean. Yeah. No. Marlon did.
Marlon Wayans.
Yeah, Marlon
yes.
Wayans. His name was Shorty in the movie. Though.
Maybe I will
Yep.
somewhere down the road. I think we might cover a scary movie. Yeah,
Gotta show clips.
That'd be good.
We could. Well, I'll consider it. Oh, here, Sarah's asking what's the movie for next week. I've been debating. I'm caught between two different movies. One of them is Dawn of the
Last
Dead, the
Unicorn.
original.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Dawn of the
what?
Dead. Anyway, two that I'm torn between are, let's see, the original Dawn of the Dead. You know, my favorite zombie movie, and also there it is. Okay, hang on.
Just drop it.
It's the floor movie.
Oh, Sleepy Hollow.
I have not seen that one in so long.
That's
Yeah,
a good
I
film.
figured
I
we could
remember
cover.
saying it, but I can't remember.
Is that the one where the guy gets decapitated and while his body falls, his head is still spinning?
Sorry.
Well, hey,
I'm
well,
serious.
there are decapitations in this.
Still an image.
I mean,
And
I figured
it's directed by Tim Burton.
Yeah, I figured it'd be high time we covered a Tim Burton film. So, yeah, Sleepy
You know
Hollow
who
does
would have
seem like a
been-
good one.
You
Isn't
know
this
who would have
like
been
one
a
of his-
better Ichabod Crane? Steve Buscemi.
Maybe.
He,
Isn't,
he looks like Ichabod Crane.
Isn't that
Like
film? Isn't Sleepy Hollow like one of Tim Burton's few R-rated movies?
Yes, it is.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say I don't know very many R-rated
Frankenweenie.
films by him. And Jack
Oh, yeah.
Skellington makes a brief appearance in that movie, believe it or not,
Really?
Yeah,
as the Scarecrow.
yeah, that's true. Here on the back.
What's this?
I'm surprised you guys haven't covered Nightmare Before Christmas yet.
Hang on. Well, let's show this quickly, and then yep, there he is on the back of the screen. That's Jack
Okay.
in a Scarecrow.
Oh, cool.
What's this? What's this?
Yeah, done. So, after what Jeremy, tell him what because he just brought up about Nightmare Before Christmas. Tell him what the plans were going to be for that one.
Nightmare Before what? I'm sorry.
Nightmare Before Christmas, because Jeremy said he's surprised that we haven't
I'm
covered it
surprised
yet.
you guys haven't covered that one yet.
Yep, we are in December.
Imagine that of all months.
Yeah, we're covering it in December. I didn't want to blow the surprise, but since you guys brought it up, okay, yeah, I might as well tell you. Yes, we're planning on covering it.
There's no
Frankie
such thing as a surprise anymore. Haven't you learned that, Don?
Yeah, come on, Don.
Still, there's one surprise I got cooked up for if we all decide to do a Halloween FearFans episode. If on Halloween nights, if everybody's up for it, because I know that, I know some of you guys have Halloween parties. I'm just saying if it can be pulled off, I do have the perfect film for that.
On Halloween night, I'm going to be watching my two favorite scary movies. So you ain't,
Trick or treat.
that's not one of them.
I already know one of them. Do you want me to say it?
I don't care.
The Powerpuff
Clowns from Outer
Girls.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Killer Clowns and Halloween. Those are my last two movies in my Halloween.
There you go. There you go.
Is it a Halloween or
Rocky
Christmas
Horror
movie?
Picture Show.
Ooh, it's like somewhere between Nightmare Before Christmas, somewhere in between. Oh, here, Thanksgiving in November. Oh,
Mhm.
you're really gonna do that to us, Sarah? You're really gonna have us put
Pumpkinhead.
through that.
Actually, there is that movie, I think that is called Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Is that
that
what-
new one that's coming out later
Yes,
this
there's a
month.
new one coming out. I already did a trailer reaction to it.
I said to Don because we went to go see we went to go see the new Saw film about 2 weeks ago, and they showed the trailer of that movie Thanksgiving. And when I saw that, because it's, some of you guys know, some of you guys don't, but Don and I, as well as a few friends of ours, we do what we call holiday movie nights, where we're watching a particular horror film associated with the holiday. And for several years, Thanksgiving was one of those holidays that was just very difficult to decide one movie to watch. And for a couple years, the only thing that we could really think of, which even though it wasn't Thanksgiving related, was Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. But when we saw this movie Thanksgiving, the trailer, I looked over to Don. I'm like, we finally got a Thanksgiving horror movie now we can watch.
Yeah.
Was that before?
Oh yes, Sarah. I love Great Pumpkin Charlie. I watch that every year.
Same.
Nick, was that before or after I sent you the trailer to that?
That was before.
Okay.
Oh, Sarah, don't even start. I almost forgot.
It's going to happen. Trust me on that. It's going to happen.
Spoiler alert: Snoopy's the killer.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
Snoopy the whole time.
That's the killer in my story.
No, it's Peppermint
That
Patty,
makes sense.
the girl with the red hair.
It is snorted.
No, it's supposed to be little red-haired girl. That's how
Yeah.
she's supposed to be pronounced.
Yeah.
Oh,
And yes, Bruce, we already know about this one.
yes, I know about this, and they're making a sequel to that.
Would have thought it was Woodstock.
Oh, man. Can you imagine Woodstock carrying a little bitty axe going after her?
Be like a bee sting.
Yeah. Oh, here we're running out. We're just about out of time. So, yeah, we got to make our announcements.
Okay.
Yes. So,
All right.
yes. So, let me just get mine out of the way real quick. I'll be brief. Okay. So I'm thinking either Dawn of the Dead, original Dawn of the Dead, or Sleepy Hollow for next week. I'll put a poll on my YouTube channel we'll decide which one we're gonna do. So yeah, we got that. And this coming Thursday, I'm going back to playing The Last of Us Part 1. Yeah, I'll get about halfway through the game now, and it has not disappointed me yet. It's an amazing game. I'll pick up on that. And also Monday, I'll be playing that game at that same time at 7 p.m. as well. So
You said you're going to put a poll on your channel.
yes. Yes. It's for people to vote. Yeah, for people to vote.
You got to vote right
They're
here.
going to vote on your poll. Sorry.
You're acting like Beavis and Butt. I can
Yeah,
tell where this is going.
Just Butthead, really.
I mean, I didn't really have any Beavis in there at all, really. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
So that's all I got as far as announcements. So Nick?
So for tomorrow,
Oh.
see, I know this is the same announcement I made last week. I was unable to do my Nick Files episode on the Phantom Cats as I was hoping to. So I had to reschedule. I got the slideshow completed. So now I know for sure that I'll have it ready for tomorrow. So we'll be talking about the Phantom Cats and Alien Big Cats, or ABCs for short. And then for Thursday, I don't think Lois is going to be on for To the Grave and Back, or Frighteners on Friday. She said she has some stuff going on with her family. I still got to talk to see what we're going to be talking about for Thursday, as well as also the Frighteners on Friday. And Jeremy, I believe for this upcoming Thursday, we have
We have Kendall and Vera Welton from House in Between and Sleepless Unrest, and they have a new documentary coming out called The Haunting Lodge. So I'm really excited about that one. And then on Friday night, it's going to be the three of us, myself, Nick, and Don, on the 13th Dimension, and we're going to be talking about Friday the 13th, not only the film series, but we're also going to be talking about the TV series as well, and maybe even throw in some actual Friday the 13th.
So
That's right.
on the
Looking
13th
forward to that.
dimension, on the 13th, you're going to be talking about the 13th.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Wow. Imagine that.
And I got to say, Jeremy, it's definitely great to see 13th Dimension back. So
It's-
you
it's
saw I
great.
watched the majority of it. So it was awesome seeing it back.
It's 13th Dimension is so near and dear to my heart. That's how it got started in this entire podcast world. So, and plus 13th Dimension, that's just a kick-ass name.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
Lauren's like, someone wake Jeremy up. I don't know what he means by that, but okay.
That is our, well, we don't call him the Rev anymore, so he's now just Sean Whittington.
I keep forgetting that. Yeah.
Well, that is because his first page got hacked, so he had to do this new one here. So we just got the stage name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's all I got to say, Don.
I gotcha. Okay.
It's up there with this
It's
is
up
Tom
there with
Wolf.
it. Oh. Didn't kill Wolf, right? Wait,
This
does
is
it
Tom's
still count
world.
if she didn't spell world right? So does that still count?
Well, yeah, we
Yeah,
mentioned that.
I already wrote it down.
Who cares?
Exactly, right?
Yeah. Oh man. So yep, that's all the time we got for today. So I think since it's Halloween, I feel like Sleepy Hollow might be more of a Halloween film than Dawn of the Dead. So yeah, I do. Maybe Sleepy Hollow will be the one we cover. Yeah. So next week we'll cover Sleepy Hollow.
I'll have to watch
Yeah.
it again.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Here, let me lend you my. Here, let
You
me
know
lend
what?
my
Send it
Blu-ray
to me.
copy.
Send it to
let
me as an attachment in an email.
Here, I'm handing it to you. Here, grab it.
How tripped out would you all be if I did that and I had it in my hand?
You need to do that trick that Jenny and I did a couple years ago on the show.
What trick was that?
That was when we were doing chicken nuggets. So it was myself, Jenny, and Chris. Hear me out. I forget who came up with this idea, but I had my own screen. Jenny had
Chicken
hers.
nuggets.
Crystal had hers. So what we all did is that we all got a bucket of chicken nuggets. And what Jenny and I did is we put our bucket right behind the camera. And what Crystal did is she had hers right here. So she went like this, and I did that and grabbed a chicken nugget from mine. And I was getting ready to eat it, and then Jenny starts complaining. So I take the same chicken nugget, give it to her, and she reaches behind hers and grab hers. So it looks like that chicken nuggets were going from Crystal's house to my house to Jenny's.
That's right. We have secret
And-
chicken nugget technology.
That is never going to happen. Shaving my head, that will not happen.
That happened to me once by
Yeah.
accident.
Never say never.
Hey, right before I went.
Let's do a poll on that. Does Nick shave his head?
Oh, God damn.
Yes.
I'm just glad Brad's not watching right now.
He has to shave his head and get a tattoo of a cockroach right in the middle of
No. That is, if I had to get that, I would have no problem scalping myself to
Well,
get
you
it
would
off.
never see it, so you'd be okay.
If only Brad was here to hear that comment.
Yeah. Where is Brad? He's missing out.
He's probably
missing out on
working.
this.
But if that
Yeah.
ever happened, I'd scalp myself to get it off one way or another.
You'd
There's
never
no
see
way
it.
a cockroach is never going to be on the top of my
You,
head.
you never see it if you
You would
do
never see it.
out.
Yeah, but I would
Yeah.
know it's there.
You would need multiple mirrors just to be able to see it.
Exactly.
Oh, one final question. Sarah's asking about the beauty contest.
Beauty contest? Unless you're
Face
talking
of
about
horror.
the face of horror.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I'm still sitting in fourth place. So there's two 2 more days left of that, and if I can get into the top 2, then I'll move on to the next round. But right now, I'm sitting in 4th place, and I have no idea how far behind I am.
The German
You guys need
Shepherd
to vote.
shaved ass is in
Vote
third.
for him.
Sorry, Sopranos thing.
Yeah. So I'll more than likely get knocked out on this one, and that's fine.
Yeah, at least you tried.
I'm just glad I got as far in it as I did.
That's right.
There was 101 people in my group to begin with.
Wow.
Oh wow.
It's too good looking.
I made it to 4th place. So
Man. Okay, so that's gonna be it for tonight. We got to get off because he's got to start his show. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to tune in next week when we cover Sleepy Hollow. Looking forward to that. Cannot wait. So thank you, Jill. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Jeremy, and of course Nick for joining me on this. I've had so much. It's always fun having you guys on.
Always.
Yes, definitely.
All right.
Take care. Bye.
Good night, and see you guys next week on the podcast. Good night.
Or-
Good night.
Bye.